Be me, 29F, senior marketing strategist at a tech firm, been here for 3 years. Honestly, the title is mostly fluff, but I fought for it. I'm the backbone of this department. Spent the last 4 years curating a very specific professional persona. Fierce, unyielding, smashing the glass ceiling. Have a master's degree in communications that I'm still paying off. Firmly believe that corporate culture is inherently patriarchal and designed to make me fail. It's my go-to defense mechanism. Miss a deadline, unrealistic expectations placed on women, come in late, invisible labor at home took precedence. Lately, the vibe in the office has been shifting. Boss is a Gen X guy named Greg. Greg is fine, but he asks for deliverables way too often, doesn't understand that creative energy isn't a force that you can just turn on. I've been coasting on a project I did 2 years ago that went semi-viral. Since then, it's been a lot of meetings about meetings. Monday morning, stroll in at 9:45 a.m., holding a $9 oat milk latte, wearing a blazer that says "Don't talk to me unless it's urgent," sit at my desk, open laptop, immediately check Slack, see a message from Greg in the general channel. Team, please welcome our new intern Andrew, starting today. He'll be assisting with the Q3 data migration and analysis. Roll my eyes so hard it physically hurts. Another guy. Tech industry is already a sausage fest. Now we have a Andrew, probably some 21-year-old frat boy who got the job because his dad plays golf with the CEO. I can already smell the Axe body spray and entitlement from here. Decide I'm going to set boundaries immediately. He's not going to walk all over me just because he's a man. I'm the senior here. I need to assert dominance early. Stand up and walk over to the cluster of desks near Greg's office. There he is, sitting in the uncomfortable guest chair, wearing a button-down that's slightly too big and cheap slacks. Looks terrifyingly young. Clean-shaven, nervous smile, clutching a notebook. He stands up when I approach. "Hi, I'm Andrew. Nice to meet you." He extends a hand. I look at the hand, then up at his face. Give him a half smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. "Sarah, senior strategist. I assume Greg told you you'd be reporting to me for the day-to-day?" He nods enthusiastically. "Yes, Mr. Henderson said I should." "Mr. Henderson?" I let out a dry laugh. "We don't do that here. It's Greg. And don't get comfortable. The learning curve is steep." I see his smile falter slightly. Good. He needs to know his place. I gesture for him to follow me to my desk. My desk is a mess of sticky notes and half-empty water bottles. Organized chaos, I call it. "So, Andrew, what's your background? Marketing? Comms?" He sits on a spare stool. "Actually, I'm a double major in data science and statistics, with a minor in comp sci." I freeze for a microsecond. STEM major, great. He's going to be one of those actually the numbers say guys. I hate those guys. They lack nuance. They lack soul. I wave my hand dismissively. "Right. Well, this is marketing. Data is fine, but you need intuition. You can't code human emotion." I pull up a massive Excel spreadsheet on my second monitor. This spreadsheet is my nightmare. It's the Q3 consumer behavior data. Thousands of rows of unorganized, raw data from our last 3 campaigns. Greg has been asking for a summary of this for 2 weeks. I haven't started. It's tedious. Manual labor. I usually spend 3 days copy-pasting cells and highlighting things in different colors. It's mind-numbing. Perfect for an intern. Perfect punishment for a STEM bro. Alright, Andrew. Here's the deal. This is the raw data. I scroll through it fast to make it look intimidating. It's a mess. The API integration failed last month, so the formatting is all over the place. I need you to clean this up. Sort by region, then by age demographic, then by purchase frequency. Then I need you to manually cross-reference it with the email open rates in this other tab, and highlight any anomalies in red. Do you understand? He looks at the screen, squinting slightly. Okay, is there a specific format you want the final output in? Just make it readable. I need to present this to Greg on Thursday. It's a lot of grunt work. It'll probably take you all week. Just keep your head down and don't bother me unless the building is on fire. I have high-level strategy meetings all day. I don't have meetings. I have a lunch date with a friend and a podcast to catch up on. Andrew nods. Got it. I'll get started. I send him the file, watch him walk back to his sad little desk, feel a surge of satisfaction. This is how it works. I suffered through unpaid internships fetching coffee. Now it's my turn to hold the whip. Plus, it keeps him busy and out of my hair. And when he inevitably messes it up because the data is garbage, I can tell Greg that the new hire needs more hand-holding. Buy myself more time. Perfect plan. 10:30 a.m. Spent 45 minutes browsing LinkedIn. Posted a status about imposter syndrome in the workplace and how it disproportionately affects women leaders. Got 12 likes. Feeling validated. Look over at Andrew. He's typing away, not frantically, just steady. He has headphones in, probably listening to Joe Rogan or something equally toxic. I get up to get a refill on water. Walk past his desk to spy on his screen, expecting to see him struggling with Excel filters. Instead, his screen is black. Text is scrolling rapidly in green and white. Looks like the Matrix. Is he hacking? I stop. Andrew, what are you doing? He pulls off one headphone. Oh, hey Sarah, just setting up the environment. The environment? I told you to use Excel. Yeah, the file is pretty big, 50,000 rows. Excel was lagging a bit, so I wrote a quick Python script to parse the CSV directly using pandas. Pandas? I stare at him blankly. Is that an app? He looks confused for a second, then realizes I'm clueless. It's a library for data analysis. It's much faster. I'm just cleaning the null values now. I feel a prickle of irritation. He's overcomplicating it to look smart. Look, Andrew, we don't need fancy code. We need the spreadsheet cleaned. Don't try to reinvent the wheel just to show off. Greg needs the Excel file. He will get the Excel file, Andrew says calmly. The script exports it back to .xlss format when it's done. It just does the sorting and cross-referencing automatically. I cross my arms. Well, make sure it's accurate. Machines make mistakes. Actually, human error is the primary cause of... Just do it, I snap, walk away feeling annoyed. He's one of those. Thinks technology solves everything. Doesn't understand the nuance of looking at the data with human eyes. Whatever. Let him play with his pandas. He'll realize halfway through that the email addresses are formatted wrong and his little script will crash. Then he'll come crawling back asking for help. And I'll graciously explain how to use find and replace like a normal person. 12 p.m. Lunchtime. Meet my friend Jessica at a bistro down the street. Jessica works in HR at a different company. We bond over how useless men are. Order a kale salad and a glass of Pinot Grigio. It's a working lunch. It counts. So, they hired an intern, I say, stabbing a cherry tomato. Let me guess, Jessica says. White guy? Bingo. Name's Andrew. STEM major. Already trying to optimize my workflow. Jessica groans. Oh my god, I hate that. They come in and think they know everything because they know how to code. It's so arrogant. I agree. I gave him a task that takes days. He's trying to automate it. It's laziness, Jessica says. They always want the shortcut. They don't want to put in the work. Exactly. I told him, you need to feel the data. You need to understand the customer journey. He's probably looking at it as just numbers. He is. It's dehumanizing. We spend an hour discussing how the patriarchy conditions men to prioritize efficiency over connection. Talk about my imposter syndrome post. Jessica says I'm so brave for sharing that. Check my phone. 1:15 p.m. Should probably head back. Greg might notice if I'm gone too long. Pay the bill, put it on the corporate card obviously. Walk back to the office feeling recharged, ready to deal with Andrew's inevitable failure. 1:30 p.m. Back at desk. Office is quiet. Food coma setting in. Open up an article about quiet quitting. Wonder if I'm quiet quitting? Nah, I'm just acting my wage. Look over at Andrew. He's not typing anymore. He's reading a book. A physical book. Looks like science fiction. Is he slacking off on his first day? Audacity levels off the charts. I roll my chair over to him, making a loud noise with the wheels so he knows I'm coming. He looks up, marks his page. Finished already? I ask, dripping with sarcasm. Yeah, he says. Just finished about 10 minutes ago. I blink. You finished? The sorting? The cross-referencing? Yep. And the anomalies? Highlighted in red. I also added a separate tab summarizing the findings with some pivot tables. I stare at him. Impossible. The data was a disaster. It took me a week last quarter just to fix the dates. Show me, I demand. He wakes up his monitor, opens the Excel file. It's beautiful, perfectly formatted, color-coded. Headers are frozen. He clicks to the second tab. Charts, graphs, a breakdown of customer demographics by region. He points to a column. I noticed about 15% of the entries had duplicate email addresses with different user IDs, so I merged those based on the timestamp of the most recent activity. Merged them? I stammer. I didn't tell you to do that. Well, otherwise the churn rate would look artificially high. It was distorting the data. He clicks another tab. I also ran a quick sentiment analysis on the OpenText feedback field. Sentiment analysis? Yeah, used a natural language processing library. It categorizes the feedback into positive, negative, and neutral based on keywords. See here, 60% of the negative feedback comes from the mobile app users on iOS. My jaw is practically on the floor. I didn't even know we had an OpenText feedback field in that dump. This kid did in 3 hours what I haven't been able to do in 3 years. I feel a cold pit in my stomach. Panic. Pure panic. If Greg sees that an intern did this in a morning, he's going to ask what I've been doing. I need to control this narrative. I need to bury him or steal it. I clear my throat. Put on my best manager face. Okay, it looks decent, but you really overstepped with the merging. We have specific protocols for duplicates. We don't, and this sentiment analysis? I didn't ask for that. It's scope creep. You need to learn to follow instructions, Andrew. In the corporate world, doing extra can actually mess up the workflow for everyone else. He looks confused, slightly hurt. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it would be helpful to see why the retention was dropping. It is helpful, I admit, grudgingly. But it's about process. You can't just go rogue. Send me the file. I need to review it thoroughly. There are probably formatting errors you missed. I'll have to spend the afternoon fixing it, trying to make him feel like he created more work for me. Okay, he says quietly. Sent. I go back to my desk, open the file. I try to find a mistake. I search desperately for a typo, a misalignment, anything. It's flawless. It's actually better than anything the data analytics team sends us. This kid is a wizard, or a robot. I feel sick, resentment bubbling up. It's not fair. Men like him just breeze through life. Everything is logic and code to them. They don't have to deal with the emotional burden of the workplace. He probably thinks he's so smart. I bet he's judging me. I bet he knows I didn't know how to do this. I save the file to my desktop. Rename it q3data.analysis Fidel v3 Sarah. Delete his email. I'll present this to Greg later in the week. Claim I've been working on it all weekend. Manage the timeline. Keep Andrew busy with coffee runs or filing for the rest of the week. 3 p.m. Greg walks out of his office. Looks stressed, holding a tablet. Sarah, you got a minute? My heart jumps. Sure, Greg. What's up? He walks over to my desk. The VP just moved up the strategy meeting to 4 p.m. today. He wants an update on the Q3 insights. I know you said you needed until Thursday, but do you have anything we can show him? Just raw numbers? Anything? I freeze. This is it. Fate is handing me a win. I have the file. I can show him the file right now. I can be the hero. I smile confidently. Actually, Greg, I pushed through it. I had a feeling this might happen. I have the full analysis ready. Greg's eyebrows shoot up. You do? The whole thing? Cleaning and all? Yes, it was a grind, but I stayed late last night to finish it. That's amazing, Sarah. Seriously, you're a lifesaver. Can we put it up on the big screen in the conference room? Walk me through it before the VP joins. Absolutely. I grab my laptop, feel a rush of adrenaline. This is going to work. I glance at Andrew. He's back to reading his book. He's not paying attention. He won't know. He's just the intern. I strut into the conference room, plug in the HDMI. Greg sits down. I open the file. The beautiful charts fill the 60-inch screen. Greg whistles. Wow. This is really clean, Sarah. I love this breakdown by sentiment. We've never looked at it this way before. Thanks, I say, flipping my hair. I thought we needed a deeper dive into the qualitative data. It really tells a story about the iOS users. Greg is nodding, impressed. This is great. VP is going to love this. Hey, let's get Andrew in here too. Good for him to see how a high-level strategy presentation works. Learning opportunity. My blood runs cold. Oh, I don't know, Greg. He's pretty busy with onboarding. Nonsense. He's reading a book. I saw him. Call him in. Greg waves at Andrew through the glass wall. Andrew looks up, points to himself. Greg nods. Andrew comes in. Hey, Andrew, grab a seat. Sarah is just walking us through the Q3 data. Pay attention. This is how we deliver value. Andrew sits down, looks at the screen, looks at me. I stare straight ahead, daring him to say something. He won't. He's too new. He's too polite. He's intimidated. I continue the presentation. So as you can see, the churn rate is stabilized here. I point to a graph. And here, We merged the duplicate emails to clean up the user count. Greg interrupts. Wait, how did you identify the duplicates? We usually have to send that to IT. Oh well, I stumble. I manually cross-reference them. Went row by row. Greg looks skeptical. Row by row? There are 50,000 rows. That would take weeks. I'm very fast, I say, voice getting a little high. Andrew clears his throat, softly, but it sounds like a gunshot in the room. Actually, Andrew says, I shoot him a death glare. Andrew, please save questions for the end. I snap. Greg looks at Andrew. What is it, Andrew? I was just going to say, Andrew says, voice steady. The script used a fuzzy matching algorithm on the email and last name columns. If you look at the formula bar in cell A1 of the hidden calculation tab, you can see the Python export timestamp. Silence. Deafening silence. Greg looks at the screen, looks at me, looks at Andrew. Script? Greg asks. Yeah, Andrew says, looking at me with innocent confusion. The Python script I wrote this morning. To clean the data. Sarah said you needed it done by Thursday, but the code only took a few seconds to run. Greg turns to me. His face isn't impressed anymore. It's confused and disappointed. Sarah? You said you did this manually last night. I feel the heat rising up my neck. My face is burning. Fight or flight kicking in. Mostly fight. I'm cornered, so I attack. I managed the project, Greg. I burst out. I directed Andrew on what to do. He just pushed the buttons, the strategy, the vision for the sentiment analysis. That was me. Andrew looks genuinely puzzled. But Sarah, you asked me what pandas was, and you told me the sentiment analysis was scope creep, and scolded me for doing it. I feel something snap inside me. The humiliation is too much. The years of pretending. The fear of being exposed. It all explodes. I stand up, slam my hands on the table. Excuse me, I yell. Greg flinches. You come in here on your first day and try to undermine me? I have a master's degree. I have 3 years of experience. You think because you know some little coding trick you're better than me? This is exactly the problem with this industry. Men come in and take credit for women's emotional labor. I had to onboard you. I had to set up the workspace. That is labor. And you just sit there with your privilege and your Python and try to make me look stupid? I am a senior strategist. I deserve respect. I'm screaming now. People outside the glass walls are looking. Andrew looks terrified. Greg looks horrified. Sarah, Greg says, voice low and stern. Sit down. No, I won't sit down. I'm tired of being gaslit by men in this office. I did the work. I am the one who understands the brand voice. Data is nothing without empathy, and he has none. He's a robot. I point a shaking finger at Andrew. You're a misogynist. You planned this. You wanted to embarrass me. Andrew shrinks into his chair. I just wanted to help, he whispers. Help? You wanted to replace me? Sarah. Greg stands up now. That is enough. Get out of the conference room. Now, go to my office. We are going to have a talk with HR. I look at Greg. I look at the screen with the beautiful, perfect data. I look at Andrew, who looks like he wants to disappear. I grab my laptop, yank the cord out. The screen goes black. Fine, I spit out. I don't need this. I don't need to prove myself to you people. I storm out of the room, push past the people watching in the open office, march into Greg's office and slam the door. Sit there shaking, convincing myself I'm the victim. They ganged up on me. It's a boys' club. They couldn't handle a strong woman. 4:30 p.m. The meeting with HR didn't go well. Jessica wasn't there. It was the HR director, a stern woman named Linda. She didn't care about the patriarchy. She cared about hostile work environment and dishonesty. Greg laid it all out. The lies about the work, the screaming at an intern, the months of missed deadlines that I blamed on processes. Turns out Greg had been tracking my output for a while. Today was just the final straw. They put me on administrative leave pending an investigation, which is corporate speak for you're fired as soon as paperwork clears. I have to pack my desk. Right now. I walk back to my desk with a cardboard box. Office is dead silent. Everyone is wearing headphones. Nobody looks at me, except Andrew. He's still at his desk, working. He looks up as I start throwing my plants into the box. He looks sad. Not smug, just sad. He stands up and walks over cautiously. Sarah, he says softly. I don't look at him. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. I can tell Greg that I misunderstood you. I can try to fix it. I stop, holding a framed quote that says, "The future is female." I look at him. He's genuine. He's actually a nice kid. He's competent, helpful, and kind. And I treated him like garbage because I was insecure. I want to scream at him again. I want to blame him, but I can't. The energy is gone. I just feel tired and small and incredibly stupid. Don't bother, Andrew, I say, voice cracking. You didn't do anything wrong. You're just better at this than me. It hurts to say it. It physically hurts, but it's the truth. Good luck with the presentation, I mumble. I grab my box, walk to the elevator, past Greg's office. He doesn't even look up. Get in the elevator. Doors close. See my reflection in the metal. Blazer is wrinkled. Mascara is smudged. I look like a mess. I look like a fraud. Elevator goes down. Phone buzzes. Notification from LinkedIn. Someone commented on my imposter syndrome post. So true. Fake it till you make it, queen. I stare at the screen, let out a sob that sounds like a laugh. Delete the post. Delete the app. Walk out of the building into the rain. No umbrella. Didn't bring one because I thought I'd be staying late to accept praise. Stand on the curb waiting for an Uber. It's surging. $45 to get home. Check my bank account. Not great. Realize I have to update my resume tonight. Realize I have to explain why I left my job after outperforming everyone. Realize I have to learn Excel. Like, actually learn it. No more buzzwords. No more hiding. The future might be female, but right now, the present belongs to Andrew. And I have absolutely nothing.